Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick Wallace here, dropping in on you. I hope that you guys have had a productive week, all things considered. I know there is so much going on out there with the COVID-19 virus at play, with all of the political antics and rhetoric being thrown out, the agendas being tossed around, and of course, everybody's reeling from what's going on in the state of Minnesota in the Twin Cities, uh, where George Floyd was murdered. There's no other way to put that. There's no dressing that up, and I have no desire whatsoever to do so. So there's a lot going on, but at the same time, what we must always remember is we still have a requirement to wake up every day and answer the bell. We have a requirement to wake up every day and live our lives on full, because that day, once it's gone, has been spent and you will never get it back. You don't want too many wasted days on your resume. So, with that being said, I want to really and truly encourage you in whatever it is you aspire to do, whatever it is you want to do. I have been working tirelessly since this whole COVID thing came, and we went through a bunch of things at toward the end of last year that kind of shook up the model and the way we were doing things at Rick Wallace Enterprises, which includes the Odyssey Project, the Visionetics Institute, Master Fitness 21, Odyssey Publishing, and a number of other entities. And so I had to literally reevaluate, rethink, develop an entire model based on what was going on. And we are coming out of that. I've done some new things. Even the way I do my live streams now is a little different in a number of different ways. And I'm hoping that you get a better experience, but still have access to all of the content that I've created over the years and that I plan on creating moving forward. And so, what I'm going to do, there's this new thing I'm going to be doing each day. And it's going to take a lot of discipline. I've set up all of the mechanisms in place to try to make sure that it gets done. But I'm going to do 10 points of success each day. The principles of success, 10 points. And I'm going to talk about 10 points. Yes, we're going to revisit some because there's so many different angles to hit them at. But we're going to start out in the morning. We're going to have 1 point. And what it's going to allow me to do is really focus on things that I've been teaching you in the past, where I'm sharing 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different points in one sitting, and hoping that you can consume it all, process it all, and find a way to mentally position yourself to apply it in your life. This way, it's going to be about one thing. It's going to be concise. You know me, I'm not a 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute type speaker, but I want to keep it focused on one point. So I'm literally going to revisit you 9 more times today. Now, I can't promise you that all of those are going to be live. Probably not. A lot of it will be pre-recorded because it's going to have to fall in line with the rest of my schedule. But the goal is to give you those points throughout the day that you can take. You can download it. You can share it. You can literally upload it on your device and play it as a part of a short version of a podcast that you can listen to and walk with. We want to give you this. And like I said, this is just content that's coming from me. It doesn't cost you anything. Just tune in and listen, or come back and catch the replay. That's what's awesome about it. But what I want to do before I get to today's first point of success, or first principle of success, which is find your passion, I want to remind you that the Odyssey Project, the Visionetic Institute, is actually right now offering courses in the areas of the skills in the highest demand. The most demand for skills are in certain areas: copywriting, digital marketing, content creation, public speaking. We're offering courses on 12 of the most sought after skills. And the beautiful thing about these is the vast majority of these skills do not take a 4-year degree. You can literally get in, train yourself, learn the industry, learn a specific discipline within the greater scheme of things, and enter into a certain segment of the industry, copywriting. I literally turned my life around and saved my entrepreneurial career through copywriting on the internet. I did it. I went from totally crashing as a very successful service provider and consultant in a number of different fields to literally having to start over. And the way I funded my recovery was copywriting. I'm telling you, there's so much demand for content online now, because no matter whether you have a brick or mortar place or you are moving with the rest of the world and building an online presence, you need content. Content is how we move the market. And if you know how to create content, you're going to always have a space. And so that's just one thing. Digital marketing, Google SEO, and SEO is evolving in the way that you do things. If you are able to literally generate traffic that is driven to a site organically. In other words, you got traffic that'll come to your site predominantly because of advertising, right? Well, that's expected, but what you're going to live and thrive on are the things like organic traffic that people are just searching online for something, and your site pops up on the first page and is close to the top of the first page as possible. That's called Google SEO, search engine optimization. And I had to learn that because at the time I started doing what I was doing in the need to save my career, couldn't afford an SEO strategy. So I had to learn SEO. I had to learn keyword density. I had to learn long tail, short tail, one word keywords. I had to learn placement. I had to learn the importance of relevance and grammar. I mean, it's changed so much over the years, but it's so much out there for you if you have those skills, and you literally can set how you enter into it. You can enter in as an employee, you can enter in as a consultant, you can enter in as a contractor. You literally are in control of your future and your destiny, and how you promote yourself and how you set yourself up with your clients or your employer. And so literally the link to find out more about that and to begin the enrollment process is in the description box of this video. Take advantage of that. Also, check out some of the other resources in there. All right, real quickly, let's talk. There are so many different things that lead to success. One of the things that I've learned is that success leaves clues. If you want to learn how to be successful in any particular area, find people who are successful in that area and observe them. If you can, connect yourself to them. But if you're going to connect yourself to someone, don't go to them as if they owe you something. Go to them with something that you can offer them in return for what they're going to give you. If you can't afford to pay them, find some other way to connect yourself to them that makes you valuable to them. Because imagine if they're that successful, they don't have a whole lot of free time, and they probably get a lot of people trying to grab their time and their space in order to learn what they learn. And so they will respond better when you come and you're not coming from a place of entitlement, but a place of exchange. Just keep that in mind, that works in life no matter where you're at. But there are some things that success leaves clues. So when you study the successful people, what is one of the things that I found? I found that people who are extremely successful operate in the area of their passion. They discover their passion. They discover why they're here. They become acquainted with their why. And once they become acquainted with their why drives them. Their why is connected to their purpose. I tell people all the time that once you discover your purpose, it will literally explain your pain. There's some things you've gone through in your life that made no sense to you. There's some things you've gone through your life that you thought were unfair. But at the moment that you discover your purpose, it will explain your pain. It will explain a lot of the enigmatic and ambiguous things that have happened to you in the past that you could not understand. But all of a sudden now it's starting to make sense. And that is because your purpose is what you literally anchor yourself in. Your purpose will explode your passion. Your passion will be the fuel that drives you even when things are not going well. See, what happens is people get involved with things for all types of reasons. There are so many different motivating factors. And the thing is, motivation is key. So if you're motivated by something superficial, when it gets tough, you're going to quit. You're going to back down. You're going to surrender. You're going to turn around. You're going to let go. But when you're driven by passion, it's connected to your purpose. It's a part of your identity. It's who you are. You're committed beyond the superficial. It's more than just about money. It's more than just about being acknowledged. It's more than just about saying I did it. It's about being you. And you can't help but be you. When you truly connect with your purpose, things just seem to explode, but you got to find your passion. You know, there's studies that show that 85% of people in America wake up every Monday morning to go to a job that they absolutely hate. 85%. Why? Because you're not working in your passion. You're working in something that mom told you need to do, dad told you need to do, or your college counselor or high school principal told you this is where the money's at. You might be out there and you're actually chasing the money and you're doing well in getting the money, and you can't understand why getting the money and having the money and the things that money can buy still doesn't fulfill you. It's because you're not operating in your passion. Imagine 85% of Americans wake up and go to a job that they hate every day. That's not the worst part. Guess when 80% of first-time heart attacks take place on Monday between the hours of 6 a.m. and noon. That's the first day back to a job you got to spend the 5 days on that you absolutely hate. You don't think the stress from that is having an impact on your cardiovascular system? It absolutely is. Stress is a monster when it comes to cardiovascular health, and you have to understand that. So what do? You find your passion. See, if you find your passion, you're going to operate in areas that you master, that you're good at, that you thrive in. We got people doing all types of things that they may or may not be great at, or may not love, but just doing because they have to. That wears on your soul. That wears on your spirit. I'm not saying there are times in your life that you're not going to have to do what you have to do. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you got to take specific actions to find your base, to discover why you're here, and then move on it. Take action on it. Commit to becoming it. It's amazing. I discovered myself early, even though I didn't know I had discovered myself. I found my passion. My passion has always been speaking, reading, and writing. And it's no shock that I now make a living speaking, reading, which you can call researching and observation, and writing. I am a published author, I am a published researcher, and I am a public speaker. And I discovered these before I was 10. And luckily I had parents who didn't squash it and try to fit me into a box that said, this is what you're going to be. I learned to read before I was 3, thanks to my great-grandmother, who was my parent. She reared me along with my great-grandfather. And thanks to her, she took me and she taught me to read by basically teaching me the first 3 chapters of the Bible. They were devout Christians. But she saw that I had this unbelievable ability to remember things after hearing it or seeing it once. And so she decided that if I could remember all these songs that I hear on the radio, that she could put it to use. So she took me and she gave me a Bible, opened it up. Obviously back then it was the King James Bible. We're talking 1970, 71. And she says, in the beginning. And I said, in the beginning. And we went through it, and she taught me chapters 1 through 3. And I memorized them. And after I memorized them, she did something else. She taught me how to recite it with meaning and purpose. When to rise with my word, when to be monotone, when to be forceful, and to tell the story in a way that captivated people. I'm 3. It started when I was about 2.5, and I'm 3, and now she's training me how to speak this thing. Right now, I've already learned how to read because I've got eidetic memory. So if it's a word that was in Genesis 1 through 3, I knew it. So I could read any word that you could find in that. I knew that word, and so I could read at 3. I learned word recognition before I learned phonics. And so anyway, that's how it started. So now I can read and I can speak. At the age of 3, my grandmother took me around to churches in the Houston area, put a mic in my hand, and made me recite what she had taught me at age 3 and 4 years old. I became known in Houston as the little boy who does the creation. I'm public speaking at 3 years old. I just don't know it's public speaking. I'm just telling a speech. I'm just saying what my grandmother taught me to. And then I became the designated person at the church. Whenever a kid had to say something or give a speech, it was always me. And I didn't realize what was coming, how it was coming, but I was doing something I absolutely loved because I had found it. I love to talk. Anybody in the family will tell you, I love to talk. I'm a talker. I am not just a talker on topics that have to do with intellectual or skillful things. I get on everybody's nerve at the house. Matter of fact, we got a house full of talkers. But, that's the thing. And so I began operating my passion early. So I found a groove. So whenever there's some things where things get off kilter, I know how I'm going to move. I'm going to move with my voice. I'm going to move with my ability to learn, research, and understand things that I may not know now. And then I'm going to be able to regurgitate it with the pen, or in this case, the keyboard. So you've got to find your passion. You have got to find your passion. So on that note, that's the first one. We got 9 more that I'm going to drop on you during the day. Like I said, the vast majority of them are more than likely going to be recorded. They won't be long. They're going to be just to the point. But I've got 9 more that I'm coming at with you today. And we're going to do this every day. I'm going to drop these things on you, and hopefully you'll get used to seeing them and you'll come back for them, and it'll be something that you can really take to heart. But ultimately, if you don't discover your purpose, you will never unveil your passion, and you will spend your time walking through life in a muck that weighs you down and inhibits your progress. And you will be a part of the 85% of Americans who wake up every day and go to a job they hate. The choice is yours. You literally do have a choice. On that note, don't forget, if you want to get ahead of the game and learn a new life skill that's going to be in high demand from 2020 and beyond, the link is there. You can go find out more about these courses that we're offering, along with getting the enrollment process started, because it's a first comes, first serve type of deal. On that note, I'm going to get out here. You guys, thanks for stopping by this morning. I know that it's been a while since I've been here, but look for me a lot in the coming days and weeks as we unroll and unveil the new model for Rick Wallace Enterprises, which includes the Visionetics Institute, Master Fitness 21, the Odyssey Project, Odyssey Media Group and Publishing, and a number of other elements, including Myriad Business Solutions. So we are doing what we're doing on our end, and we're challenging you to be the best you can be and do what you're doing on your end. I look forward to hearing from some of you guys about these courses. I also look to hearing from some of you guys about what we're doing in other areas. And also, I'm excited about the release of book 21. Book number 21 has finally got the kinks out and is actually available internationally. The book I Am, The Power of Self-Declaration, is now out there. And the link is somewhere in the box too. But I'm excited about that. Anyway, have an awesome day. Have an awesome weekend. We've got some things we're going to do. We're going to build this summer. That's the promise. That's the challenge. I'm out.